What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Punk Rock Radar. Today we are talking about our top 5 Bad Religion songs. Dylan from DyingScene.com and Lewis, a Hudson Valley hardcore legend, have joined us. And we've each picked 5 songs. We're going to go through them in mostly no particular order. Guys, if yours is in any type of order, just mention it when we get there. But Lewis, I'm gonna pass it to you first because you're the biggest Bad Religion fan I know, and it's been that way for 20-something years. So why don't you get into your very first pick here?
All right, so for my fifth pick, not necessarily number 5 all time, I'm going to pick one of the most predictable ones, which is going to be You, off of No Control, which is obviously a perennial Bad Religion song, very emblematic of the 3 records that they were putting out in the late 80s. Very popular with the Tony Hawk crew, of course. I forget which one it was in, but it's in one of them. But obviously a super fantastic song, balls to the wall throughout, the lyrical content's great, one of my favorites. So I had to put this into my team.
So last night, somebody commented that NoFX did have a song on a Tony Hawk. So I was like just going through the track list, and Bad Religion's on like almost every one, like random songs, like all the way, like Proving Ground, Underground. They're like one of the mainstays of Tony Hawk, but I don't remember which one this is either.
Tony Hawk keeps going on stage to sing Superman with Goldfinger. When's he gonna get on stage with Bad Religion?
Dylan, anything to say about You, or do you want to move on to your pick here?
Let's move on to my pick. It's another song off No Control. It is I Want to Conquer the World, which for graphics sake has been abbreviated to Conquer the World. But you get the idea. This is my favorite song off No Control. But if I'm being honest, I mean, the whole album kind of blends together. It's all good, all great songs, but they all sound pretty samey. So it's one of those albums you have to listen to all the way through. You can't just pick out like a certain song and leave it at that.
Yeah, I messed up your thing. I was just copying pasting your picks. I forgot that there's a long title. Lewis, No Control is your favorite album?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back and forth between No Control and Against the Grain, depending on the day, but obviously this is another great song. I pretty much like every song off of both those albums, so this is an excellent pick, of course, and obviously another one that Bad Religion's really associated with, so good choice.
All right.
I think you can have a favorite Bad Religion album for like every mood you're in, because there's just so much variety in the sound between all the records.
All right. So
for sure.
I'm gonna start like differently, and my whole list is pretty different. This is the oldest song on my list, and it's not from the 80s, not from the 90s, but it's from the 2000s. I'm going pretty generic. I'm going Sorrow from The Process of Belief, which is, what a lot of people consider the comeback album after everyone except Dylan was disappointed with The New America. And this was the lead single from there. And Lewis, you made a great point when we did the Bad Religion tier list that this is like probably their most accessible song. Like up to this point, like if this had like latched onto radio, like who knows where they would have been. I know like Broken, which was the second single, got some decent airplay. But like, I feel like this is the one. Like the ominous beginning, the big anthemic chorus. It's just, I don't care that it's kind of like a normie, samey pick. I love this song, so it's going here for me. What do either of you guys have to say about Sorrow?
It's a good song. It's definitely a classic Bad Religion song. I like Supersonic and Can't Stop It and Bored and Extremely Dangerous. The more like high energy songs on this album, though.
Yeah, I mean, I love this song. It would have been in my top 10 for sure. And it's like I remember hearing this for the first time after I went to buy the CD at Media Play, and I was just like blown away. And I must have listened to that song like 10 times that day. But yeah, a really good one. I don't care if it's the generic one that's really good. I think it's an excellent song that should have definitely got more airplay. So.
Yeah, it's killer. So, Lewis, what do you have up next for us?
I am going to go with Inner Logic from Stranger Than Fiction. Just a song that really stands out on that album, and it's just like buried there on the B-side. And it's always, I think it's probably the strongest, like one of the strongest late track entries in the entire Bad Religion discography, just kind of sitting there waiting to be listened to. But a really great song, kind of a unique sounding Bad Religion song. Just love it. So it had to make my list in my top 5.
Yeah. So when we did the tier list like almost 2 years ago now, this is one that I dropped on my playlist after re-listening to Stranger Than Fiction. So, and it, like I told you, like I considered it for my list too, but I went with the new school vibe. Dylan, anything to say about Inner Logic? Or are you ready to move on to your number 2?
Not really Inner Logic, but Stranger Than Fiction. I don't like the album very much. It's lauded among Bad Religion fans, and I can't really see why, personally. It has its moments like Better Off Dead and Hooray For Me, but it also has Television, and that's unforgivable. So
And Infected too. Infected's another good one.
Oh yeah, Infected. Infected's good. My second pick is gonna be from an album that's probably not that popular. The Gray Race. The song is "The Streets of America." This is my favorite Bad Religion song, for sure. This album, I don't think this song, but this album had a few songs on Crazy Taxi,
Yeah.
and I played a lot of Crazy Taxi, so that was my introduction to Bad Religion. I think the title track maybe, and
10 in 2010.
yeah, 10 in 2010, and Come Join Us maybe. But yeah, this is my favorite Bad Religion song. It's very like ominous, and it's the only like slow Bad Religion song I can really get into.
Yeah, I rewatched parts of the Bad Religion episode today, so I wouldn't contradict myself because I almost did. But I had said this was my second favorite Bad Religion album, so I'm with you, Dylan. I think this is a killer record, and I like this song too, so it's a good pick. Lewis, any thoughts on Streets of America?
Yeah, it's a good song. I love The Gray Race too. So even though it's kind of in that transitional period to the albums I don't like
Yeah.
very much, but I thought Gray Race stands as a very solid album at that point of their career. So for sure, great record, great song.
All right. I'm going to move on to my second pick. I'm going to God's Love from, in my opinion, Sacrilege as it is, the best Bad Religion album, The Empire Strikes First. And I love The Process of Belief, but like this album is like if that album was a kid hopped up on a pillowcase full of Halloween candy. It is like, for me, it's faster. It's louder. Like, I think this is Brooks' second album with the band, and I feel like he's kind of like the star of this record. It just all the whole thing. I've got another one coming up from this too, but I love the ascending melody in the chorus, and it's just a badass song. It's God's Love. And Lewis, we'll just transition right into yours because you've got this one too. What are your thoughts here on it?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit it all. But yeah, this is definitely the standout song from that album. It really just rips all the way through. I think you're right. The Brooks is really shining on this album as well. It's so good. And this song itself, I just love the melody, everything about it. So had to at least throw some newer Bad Religion into the mix because I do love The Empire Strikes First. So Dylan, you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like this album a lot too. This is like it looks like it came out before American Idiot, but I feel like this album is Bad Religion's American Idiot, where they really got like a second wind. And they've always been political, but I think this is one of their more socio-political albums throughout. Yeah, the great song. I really like the guitar solo as well. And I agree with everything about Brooks, especially like Sinister Rouge and yeah, just crazy drumming on this album.
Tell me where is the love in a creation?
Seeing them on tour during when this came out, that was awesome too, because they would start off with Sinister Rouge and just blow into it. Sorry, I just love it. Go on.
All right, third pick for me is gonna be "Recipe for Hate" from Recipe for Hate. This is I feel like one of their better like opening tracks on an album. It really sets the tone for the record with that opening guitar part that goes into that snare roll. I love this song. It's definitely top 5 for me.
The spread of culture, the sword of progress, the vector of...
Dylan's going here with a title track. I'm gonna piggyback right off of that, and I'm gonna go what, in my opinion, is the best title track. I'm going pretty damn new. I'm going True North. Sandwiched in between, in my opinion, two of the least popular Bad Religion records. We get the gem of True North, and like everyone knows the song, you know, fuck you. Lewis and I had this like 50-year-old wasted guy screaming the lyrics in our face at the show last week. But I think the title track is the standout of this album. Like for a band to write this in like their late 40s or early 50s, which is like I think it's like 2 minutes maybe, and you get a couple choruses with big oohs and ahs, of course. All my songs have oohs and ahs. I get most Bad Religion songs, but I love this track. It's, in my opinion, the best Bad Religion song of the last few records. So I'm sliding it in here in no particular order at number 3. Lewis, any thoughts on the True North title track?
Yeah, I don't know what I gave True North during our rankings. I think it was fairly high, maybe an A, maybe it'd definitely be a high B. I'd have to go check, but yeah, absolutely. This is by far the best stuff that Bad Religion's put out in a long time. It's fantastic, and I think you're absolutely right. The title track, I think, is the strongest one. So definitely a solid.
All right. So what's your 4th pick going to be here for us?
All right. So 4th pick, I'm going for my another top tier Bad Religion record for me. It's going to be Anesthesia off of Against the Grain. Anesthesia just feels like one of the pivotal Bad Religion songs from my youth, listening to this album and getting into it. I love pretty much the repetitiveness of this chorus. I love the rhythms. I love everything. I love the references to the Beatles. What a good song. So it had to make my top picks.
So they, at the show, they've played 2 of your top 4 so far, right? Because they played Anesthesia and You, if I remember correctly.
That's right. Yep.
Anesthesia, I'm Mona Lisa. I got a little gun, here comes oblivion.
All right. Dylan, what do you got up for us?
And I like that song. All right, I got the lone pick. Oh shit, I don't want to spoil it. Okay, these guys didn't pick anything off of the New America, so I had to represent. I got a Don't Sell Me Short. This is the closing track off the album, right? We had a few opening tracks, and now we have the closing track. Yeah, The Fast Life is a bonus song. Yeah, this is an awesome song. I also really like You Got a Chance. They both sound pretty similar, but this one's my favorite off the album. I mean, as a whole record, it's not very good, to be completely honest, but it has its moments, and Don't Sell Me Short is definitely one of them.
Yeah. I feel like from that album, probably World Without Melody is my favorite, but it's like bottom 2 Bad Religion, but it's not terrible, right? I mean,
I could have picked I Love My Computer if really wanted to troll.
All right.
I think this is a really strong pick, Dylan. So this is a really good Bad Religion song. I don't know why they buried it on the tail end of that record.
Yeah,
it
no
should have
shit.
been more up front. Yeah, it's really good.
There you go.
Don't sell me short. Oh, you've been wrong too.
All right. I'm moving on now. I switched this last minute. I had Germs of Perfection. I was listening to this record today, and I went to New Dark Ages instead. So I don't have any classic Bad Religion songs on my list, but I feel like, and maybe wrongly, but I feel like New Maps of Hell feels like a classic Bad Religion album with better production. Maybe that's why I like it, because I said in the Bad Religion video, my first album I got by them was No Substance. I didn't go dig back until after Process of Belief, maybe even after Empire in some cases. So it's hard to hear something that sounds so crisp and perfect and go back, at least for me. So I'm picking New Dark Ages, which I feel like is a very similar song to God's Love. But I love it. I think it's a badass song. I wanted to just do something quickly here, guys. First of all, before your last pick, if you have any honorable mentions, and then when I did pick Germs of Perfection, I noticed that the Bad Religion tribute album was also called Germs of Perfection. And it got me to thinking, like, there's probably like a dozen, in my opinion, better Bad Religion songs to name a tribute album after. And I wrote down Leaders and Followers and 1,000 Memories as two examples. So not to put you guys on the spot, but off the top of your head, any better Bad Religion song for the tribute album that you could think of? Or do you like Germs of Perfection as the tribute album name?
They could have named it Raise Your Voice.
Yeah.
Another good one.
I mean, wouldn't like Against the Grain be like the best name, I guess?
Another good, yeah. That's the Germs of Perfection was just an odd choice for a tribute album.
Welcome to the New Dark Ages. Yeah, I hope you're living.
Lewis, any honorable mentions before your final pick?
Yeah, I mean, so I don't want to get too deep into them, but like Suffer for sure would definitely be in my top 10, I would say. Maybe Walk Away off of Against the Grain, another really strong song. I think Dylan mentioned one of my, I really like Better Off Dead. Dylan mentioned that one. I really love that song. Yeah, there's so many that I could have picked. And definitely Sorrow would have been in my list. So that would be 4 off the top of my head. But for my final pick, I went with, and this is probably my favorite Bad Religion song, and I think I've said it before, but it is Generator off of Generator. Just a song that always stuck with me. Generator is by far not my favorite Bad Religion album. It is the best starting song on any record. Really kicks in. I love the intro. I love the choruses. I love the sing-along. The crowd went insane when we saw it the other night.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I'll never get tired of seeing this one live. So Generator is going to be my final pick. So you guys have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, classic song, staple of the Bad Religion set list. I doubt there's a show in the last 20 years they haven't played this song.
Yeah, Lucky Lewis, man. 3 of his top 5 we saw them play. But
It's a very theatrical song. Like
Yeah.
it really you can see the picture Gregory is painting with his lyrics.
yeah,
I like that.
I feel like I this is a good song, but Generator is another one. When I was listening to the back catalog, this is the one that stood out that I was like, and I just never spent a lot of time with it. But I mean, it's a banger of a song.
Like the blood on my door. It's the Generator.
But Dylan, honorable mentions before your final pick.
Struck a Nerve, another slow song. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention The State of the End of the Millennium Address. Absolute classic, top 500 Bad Religion song right there. I'm bullshit. I'm a fucking idiot. All right, last song. One final title track for us. I think we got like 5 of them. The Gray Race from my favorite album, The Gray Race. Just a great chorus on the song. The gray race shrivels trapped inside. The world it creates is black and white. Guitar solo in there somewhere too. Badass song, badass record. I love it. The intro is great too.
It is a good one.
The gray race shrivels trapped inside. The world it creates is black and white.
So honorable mentions, just because you just did The Gray Race, I had Pity the Dead on my honorable mentions list. Then I want to hit Skyscraper from Recipe for Hate. And then, Dylan, you were very brave and you showed some love to New America. So I am a firm believer that New Substance is the superior album of those two. So I'm going to shout out Biggest Killer in American History and Hear It, which I think are 2 really good tracks from there. And then my final pick, which is probably my favorite Bad Religion song, I am going to do Sinister Rouge. I know Dylan likes this song, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't hear a ton of, I don't know if this is the only Bad Religion song, but the double bass. This is like the lone song I hear the double bass on. And I know it's kind of like a faux pas in punk to have double bass, but it just adds to this song. Like again, with Brooks's drumming on this record, you don't expect that thunderous bass in the song. It's got that killer, like the 2-note guitar riff, but it's just awesome. And I believe this was the first single from this. Could be wrong, but I love this song. It's probably my favorite up to the point when it came out, and maybe the heaviest thing Bad Religion had done to that point. So it's just a cool moment for the band. Dylan, I'll pass it to you. I know you like this song. Anything I missed you want to mention on Sinister Rouge?
Sinister Rouge, coming back for more. Even the storm.
Overture leading into it. Can't forget that part of it. I don't know if Brooks played double bass live in Bad Religion or not. I don't remember. I think that definitely a single kick drum, but I don't know if he had a double bass pedal or not. But I think this is probably the only song. You're right. But I think it really that adds a lot to it for sure. The song wouldn't be complete without the double bass part.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, it's so random for a band to have just one song with double bass. So if you're watching in the comments, if you could think of another one, drop it down below. But Lewis, any thoughts on Sinister Rouge or any final thoughts?
I don't know. Whoever, I guess Brett probably produced it. So whatever moment of inspiration he had, these over bass was the right move here because it does rip. And this is by far like the hardest of any Bad Religion album. So this is an awesome song. I love it. So good deal.
Nice.
And I want to say shout out to New Maps of Hell, my first Bad Religion record. I got it on CD at the Epitaph tent at the Warped Tour in 2009. There was the Epitaph tent and the Fat tent was right next to it. So I got this and Wolves in Wolves Clothing on CD. And NoFX didn't play the Warped Tour in St. Pete that year, which I was disappointed about.
Yeah, that's weird. Heroes and Martyrs, another one from there. That's badass. But
I like the whole album, but the vocals could be a little more prominent in the mix, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's gonna any other closing thoughts from you guys? 2 huge Bad Religion fans. So if you have anything else to say, now's the time.
God bless America.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw Bad Religion, less than a week ago, I think, tonight. So,
yeah, a week ago today.
They're playing as hard as they're playing as hard as they ever played. So it's pretty fun to see a really old band still have anything. So.
I haven't seen them since Greg stopped dyeing his hair, so I need to see them again soon.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off Lewis and then we'll wrap it up. For like 58, 59, 60-year-old guys, that show was incredible. I had told Lewis like right after, I was like, the live versions of the old songs makes me appreciate them so much more. And like, I know Alkaline Trio kind of dropped the ball with Past Lives, but like, I would love to hear the old stuff, the full album recorded. I think, live. I think that would be cool. We already got the Bad Religion box set, so it's incredibly unlikely. But at the show, Jay Bentley did say that they would be back next year, so this isn't any kind of farewell. So they'll be rolling well into their 60s. So if we're lucky, maybe we get another Bad Religion album. I didn't see what it was.
This is, my uncle took a picture of me with Greg Graffin after their show in Ybor City. This is what the picture looks like. That's not like the camera being blown out. That's the picture. It's just completely fucked. You can't tell what it is. I was so disappointed.
That does suck. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Make sure you leave your top 5 Bad Religion songs down below. If there's another band you'd like to see us do in this style, you could also feel free to leave it down below or in the Discord. We're closing in on 100 members, which is awesome. We talk about new music, we talk about the classics, a lot of Epitaph, Fat Wreck style, a lot of Green Day, Blink talk going on right now. So if that sounds like your thing, click the link down below and join. You could talk to us there. But that's it. That's going to do it. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.